let's get back into it. Say. All right, I think I was at the point where I was explaining you should be ready to travel. Yeah. All right, so I said just in case you should be ready to travel. So if some people would not give you money, except they see you physically, to someone who I was speaking with someone earlier in the year who needed to raise 273 million naira. And, at first he was having can you see my screen? Okay. You could use the chat window also.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right, thanks. So I said I was speaking to someone earlier in the year who needed to raise 273 million naira for a project he was working on. And he was speaking to the person who was going to like give him in quotes all of the money, right? And but as I was speaking to the person, someone had made like an introduction to that person, and he was riding on that relationship, but he noticed that the conversation was not flowing, right? So what he did, he left Lagos and traveled through the day to meet up with the person in the person's office the next day. Like the person was not even expecting him. He bought hamper, yam, because the person was an elderly Nigerian, bought hamper, bought yam, bought like rice and everything and when he got to the person's office. After he got into the person's office and according to the story, he told me that he didn't even take 10 minutes for the conversation to end and he got to the 273 million he was looking for, right? So some people just want to see your face. They want to see the hairstyle that you buy. They want to see the clothes that you're wearing. They want to see the car that you came into their compound with or the shoe that you're putting on. Because, right, especially if they are older Nigerians, what you would call old money in our country. And you're raising money for a business. And I was speaking to my boss once. We needed to get some amount of money, and he went into Alaba market to speak with some guys that were doing bureau de change because they have money, and if he had first been conversing on the phone with them, speaking plenty English and everything. And when he got there, now the person he was even now speaking with was not even a Malam or anything. It was one Chinedu. According to his test, it was one Chinedu that was doing importer exporter. But he had the money that we were looking for, right? And all he needed, all what the man wanted. Now the man spent, according to how my boss explained it, the man spent close to an hour on the phone while my boss was standing in front of him. Like he was just doing as if my boss didn't exist. Oh yeah, just wait. Then you pick another call. Container there, Abby. So that's how my boss explained it. That eventually, when he was done, so he now said, "So yeah, the person, Abby, no problem. I just wanted to see your face. At least let me know that the person I'm talking to is a human being." And that also, right? So there are those set of people who all they need, which was one of the mistakes I made while raising money for BCP this year, was that I sat in my house thinking I was going to raise money from Lagos because a lot of persons I was reaching out to were in Lagos. Sometimes they even asked me, "Oh, are you around? Can we meet?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in Akure." Oh, yeah, in Akure. Oh, okay, that's fine, right? So there's that readiness that you need to have to travel, right? I know someone. This was shared by a friend of mine, a founder friend of mine, who was raising money, it was raising his seed round from angels and like this. And he had been talking to someone for a very, very long time. And the person was not in Nigeria, right? So when the person came to Nigeria, the person didn't even tell him he was coming to Nigeria. He just said, "Hey man, are you in Lagos? Let's meet up tomorrow." As that, oh, I just flew in. I want us to meet tomorrow in Lagos. And he was in Akure, right? He took night bus. Like immediately he got the message that evening. He went to the park, he entered motor, and he went to Lagos. Because it would have been too dire to go to Lagos the next morning, when that is when the person that wants to give you money says that you should be in Lagos. So be ready to travel, have that flexibility, or be able to accommodate that flexibility in you, that there's some amount of money that you can't get from the comfort of your room without having made initial physical contact with the persons that you want to get money from. There are people. The person who sent me $348, right? It's not a lot of money, but to me it was a lot of money, right? I had met him earlier in the year in Lagos. So whenever I travel, so from the onset, on my mind, I knew I was going to raise money for BCP, whether or not I got sponsors or not, right? I knew I was going to raise money for BCP. So I had an opportunity to be in Lagos earlier in the year. I used that chance to meet up with some specific people just for them to see my face. Hey, this is me. Oh, I will be talking, right? There are a few other persons who had, so some Nigeria, disgrace you. Thank God we are all Nigerians. The light has gone. But yeah, so there are people who would just need to have that, they just need to see you to authenticate. That's their two-factor authentication. They just need to see the person that has been speaking to them, right? What if you send a representative? Huh. I won't guarantee, sincerely, I won't guarantee that your representative would have as much passion as you when you want to go and collect money. That's one. Two, if you are the person that has been conversing with the person, it will actually be very disrespectful for you to send a representative. Let me explain. Imagine you want to give me #1,000,000 and I say, "Can we see?" And you send someone to me. What it will appear to you, okay, let me even ask you directly, how would that appear to you?
Um,
No,
I don't know if I'll be answering.
just tell me directly, how will it appear to you?
It depends, but it might seem disrespectful though. But it still depends on the situation for me. But I can't use myself. I can't use myself to um define other people because I'm an extremely considerate person. So I might be like, okay, I guess you can't do this. It's fine if you send somebody else. That's my nature. But I know that other people may not because I've had issues. I've had partners that I was trying to reach, and we've been having conversations online, and they were just playing and sketching until I had to go to the office. So I get that part. But if it was me personally, I'd probably understand because I figure, okay, you probably can't come yourself.
Now, you're totally right, right? You can be considerate, but a majority of the people who would give you a lot of money, they are considerate, but they value their money, right? So you sending a representative for a conversation that the representative has no context about. Now, here are some of the things that might happen. what you might be telling the representative that is going, even if the person is even copied in the email thread, or even if the person is copied in the email thread, but there are some conversations you might have had outside of that email thread, maybe on WhatsApp, on maybe over a call, and there might even be certain information that you have that representative does not have, which might be a total turn off if the question is asked and the person flops. So more often than not, rather, if you're raising money and you need to be somewhere physically, if the person who wants to give you money requests for your physical presence, 90% of the time, I would recommend that you go there yourself. That remaining 10% is for people, maybe it's for people that you probably have had a physical contact with them in the past, and they know and understand your person, and they can understand the fact that, oh, you might not be available. Because this is it. If me that I'm giving you money can make myself available for a physical meetup, you that you want to receive the money, not being present is just an utterly show of, oh, this person is not serious. This person really don't need the money that he's looking for. That's like what goes on in their head. So I use the scenario of my boss, because that's what he wanted to get was a lot of money, right? There was also one of the places I was working on. They were raising, or eventually they got $44,000. And while he was explaining to me, like the co-founder was explaining to me how they got the money, I was like, oh, Tolu, we have to travel. This is not that all this call that we're having, we had to travel. There were times where we had to book an emergency flight to New York to meet up with the person that needed to give us money the next day. So I've heard countless stories, and I've also experienced this myself, how that there's certain amount of money you can't raise from the comfort of your house. You need to go out. You need to meet up with the persons that you're talking to. You need to maybe have lunch, dinner, even go to their party, go and attend their birthday party, be there, bring hamper, bring wine. You can't raise certain amount of money without being able to meet them physically, because they need to be able to build a physical connection. They need to be able to attach a face to the email threads, to the to the phone calls, even to the virtual meetup. That's why I turned my video on, so that you will see my face and you will see my gestures, and you would see. Yes, so it's money conversation. Money conversation is that's how it is. That's sincerely how I can put it. It's just how it is. Money conversation is how it is. There's a certain amount of money you can't raise from the comfort of your house. You need to meet up with the person. You need to speak to them physically. You need to sit down, have dinner, have lunch, have whatever with them, right? So even like I'm going to end with this story on this particular topic. When I was speaking to someone, and okay, no, let me use myself as an example first. I needed to, in 2020, there's some things I needed. In the next years, like in 2021, 2022, 2023, there's some things I was planning to do, right? I didn't have clarity on them, right? But I knew that I was going to need certain sets of people in certain positions to know and recognize me in order to be able to do those things successfully. Now, again, in 2020, I didn't have clarity on what those things were going to be. I didn't know that BCP would be born out of the initiative I was doing in 2021 and all of that stuff. All I knew that I was going to need certain people in certain positions to assist me. Now, I found it in a book, The Third Door. There's a chapter in The Third Door written by Alex Banayan, that's Find Your Inside Man. So it means that you need someone that knows you, that's seen you physically, to be able to move some things for you on your behalf. Now, if you don't have this set of people, there are certain unconventional things that you will not be able to achieve. So what did I do? I packed a room full of 25 people that nobody might have given a nobody might have like bothered to do that, right? But I think at the time I was earning 30K and I had to look for 240K to host an event, to host a dinner in Lagos where I invited 25 people to be present. Now, these 25 people did not know who I was. Some of them might have met me online by mistake. Some of them knew my brother, but I reached out to all of them and invited them that, oh, I want to host you to a dinner where I get to celebrate you. That's how I entered their mind. That's how I became a name that they knew. Now, flash forward to 2022, 2023, 2024. All of these persons have been pivotal in the amount of money I have raised for BCP, my laptop, and every other initiative that I have cooked up. Now, some of them did not give me money directly. Some of them linked me up to someone. Some of them did an intro call. Some of them said, oh, Tolu, be here. I want to show you to someone. And one way or the other, they have been pivotal to me getting access to people who can give me the money I am looking for. But I'm looking for, if I peradventure start a business, right? And I'm looking to raise my pre-seed or seed round. These are the set of people I will go and meet. Because I was reading a book by Dr. Ola Brown, right? And one of the things she said, well, like it's your journey to Series A funding. That's the title of the book. And one of the things she said in the book was how the fact that you need to build a relationship with your investors, right? Your initial investors, even those that give you money in the angel round, or those that give money in the angel round. This is financial jargon. Those that give you money first for your business. The first people that say, take 10K, take 20K. Those that you need to build a relationship with them. Finally, I was listening to a story by the founder of Chowdeck. It's an interview that PCTMI did, and he said that the first person that gave him his paycheck was one of his employers who eventually became his friend, and the person wrote him a check without even asking for the breakdown of the business or anything. He just know that I've worked with you. I know that whatever you put your heart to, whatever you want to do, and you put your heart to it, it will eventually make sense, right? The person didn't the founder of Charlie didn't have like a total blueprint of how the business would even turn out to be. He didn't know that the business was going to be successful. The person gave him a lot of money for an idea that was not even tested. Why? Because the person had a physical touch, like had the physical relationship with the person, knew the person, had seen the person, right? So oftentimes you need to build that physical touch, right? Let me move to the next section. I was hoping, so yes, I don't usually do this. That's using crowdfunding platforms. Personally, because if you have a green passport and you're using our IP address in Nigeria, most of these crowdfunding platforms, you can't create an account on them, right? As simple as even receiving payments with Stripe, you cannot create an account, all right? But for my birthday, I used Unboxed, one product where you can get to have a wish list created. Now, I just thought in my head that actually you could use that to fundraise also, because with Unboxed, now I'm doing free PR for this guy. With Unboxed, you can set an item and people can actually contribute. So people do not necessarily need to. Then you can't set. There are items that you can set a specific amount, so people can now contribute to their quota to the specific amount until it is complete. So I used that for my birthday last year to like anybody that wanted to give me anything, I just sent the link to them. Oh, these are the items I needed. This is the amount of each of them. You could pay directly to the account there, or you send to my own account, anyone that works for you. But I used that to raise money, and I also used Block. I created like a payment link with Block where people could like send me money. Now, why I specifically pointed out these two platforms is because I've used both of them, and I know the founders too. But I've used both of them, and it was interesting. You don't necessarily need to. So if I receive your payment link, right, I can impute the amount that I want to give to you. right? It's not like a fixed amount like some other platforms who have you create like a fixed amount or donating 5k. No, if I get to the platform, if I get to the payment link, I can send you 100k, 1 million, just like that. Right. Asking people for the money that you are looking for. First question, why are you shy? Why are you feeling embarrassed? Maybe you're the one that is looking for it. So why are you shy? why are you shy? Right? Because I've met people and I've asked them that you need this stuff. You have people you can ask. Why are you not asking them? Like, well, can you come? I don't want them to see me as someone that's looking for money. Are you not looking for money? I don't want them to think that this one. Is that not your position? If they give you the money, will your life not change? You say, yeah, well, so why are you shy? So I think one of the things I had to deal with early on, well, I've been looking for money since when I was a small child, but is the feeling of shame of being embarrassed or allowing my ego to get in the way, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I've asked people that in quote, I do not have good relationship with them for money because I just knew that they were in the position to help me. I've asked people who believed that I earn more than them. I've asked them for money. Because at the end of the day, if you give me my money, if you give me the money, sorry, it's your money. But if you give me your money to help me do my project or to help me achieve my dream, I would have achieved my dream, right? Whatever you think of me after that, well, I would ensure it remains a good thing, but I am not in control of your perception about me. The only thing I know is that if the money hits my account, I will use it to do what I have decided to use it to do, right? So, so, so if you think that asking for money is above your class, then get the money, maybe work, struggle, struggle, get the money that you are needing. And if you can't get the money in short term, then definitely you need to ask. You definitely need to ask people, right? So there's the art of the ask. I don't know why the title did that, but developing strategies to make confident and compelling requests for donations. You need to learn how to overcome common objections and build lasting relationship with people that want to support you. So one thing that has helped me so far is going straight to the point. Like when we are at the questions part aspect of the session, I mentioned how that you just need to go to the point. How much are you looking for? 10 million. Why do you need 10 million? I want to host an event. What did you want to do? Oh, I need to fly in my speakers. That will cost me 200. That will cost me 2 million. My auditorium costs 3 million. Digital marketing costs 1 million. If I round up other miscellaneous like PR and marketing, that's on ground offline PR and marketing, setup, and other thing, I just need 10 million, right? So you should be able to go straight to the point. So I shared an example here. Hello, sir. My name is Toluwase Olugbemiru, and I'm raising 10 million naira for an event to help people understand the role of branding, customer service, and effective product and service offerings to build lasting businesses. This was one pitch I gave to someone that I met randomly. So if I get the response after this, I settle in and drive home to seal the deal. There's also, hello, my name is Toluwase Olugbemiru. I'm raising 10 million naira for an event. How much would you be willing to help me with, sir? Straight to the point. Right? I need you to help me with money. I can't be peppering you with. So this is like if I meet someone on the road. For emails that I sent out when I was looking for money for BCP, there's a whole explanation of. Then I was looking for sponsors and partners, but eventually, right? So when they ask what's the event about, then I get to settle in and get to tell them, because you just need to know if the person has an initial interest in what you've said, right? Again, it might be in your approach, it might be in your demeanor. You need to also build confidence to ask for money, right? Like I asked at the start of this particular session, why are you shy? Like, why are you feeling embarrassed? You want to ask for money and you're already fidgeting and you're sweating in your whole body. Why? Is it that you are not confident in the fact that the money you are looking for, you really need it for what you want to use it for? or you are scared that people will tell you no. No is a natural response in this life, right? Funny thing, I called my mom yesterday when I went to go and ask my mom for money yesterday. And she was asking me if I want to use money for an event. I told her no, that last event broke my back. I was like, well, failures are part of business, right? That when you hit a hard rock, or when you fail in quotes, that instead of you to get discouraged, right? Just pick yourself up and move on and try again. I was like, thank you, mommy. Just send me the money. Right. So there's also build a donor pyramid. What I would have loved to title that section, all money na money. So develop a diverse donor base. Now, sometimes when we create our lists, initially we had said that we need to create a list of people that we perceive can give us money, right? When we create our list, one of the things that we can do is to section people on that list. Oh, this type of person. So whenever I don't write my list digitally, sadly. I use pen and paper. But I think I have on one of my documents, I'll look for it. I have a perception of people who can give me. When I write someone's name, I'm like, this person should be able to give me 100K. This person should be able to give me 500K. This person should be able to give me 1 million naira. Oh, if I'm speaking to this person, through his organization, he should be able to give me 3 million, right? And I section them. I have people who can give me 5K, who can give me 10K. So depending on the amount of money I'm looking for, right? Sometimes I still look for urgent 2K when I take bike without money in my account. And I just know that when I get to where I'm going to, I'll just message someone to send me 1K or 2K, and the person will send it immediately. So I have people sectioned both mentally. Sorry, this thing has become part of my life. It now looks as the way I'm explaining it now, I'm not feeling like I used to beg for a living. No, I don't beg for a living. But yeah. So I have people sectioned in my head, and if it's for a project, if it's for I'm trying to look for the notes I used for when I was raising money for my laptop. I thought I put it around here somewhere. But I have people section. I have people's names written out, and I section it. I have their names written. So I write their names, and I have the amount of money I believe. Okay, this is. I know you will not be able to see my writing, but this is how it looks. This is how it looks like. I know I think it's flipped on because of the camera. Well, the first name here, I had the date that person was going to send the money. I had the money in front, 500K. There's someone here, there's 50K in front of his name. There's another person, 500K in front of his name. And I went through the list. If you notice, there are people, their names are crossed out of the list. So those are the people I've had conversations with that said no, that they don't have. I crossed them out. Those that said that, oh, I should check back, I leave their names. Those that eventually gave me, I ticked their name. It's just, it's all part of it. So build a donor pyramid. So what I wrote here is understand each person's perceived capacity and act within that range. Now I said perceived because no one truly knows any other person's financial status. I might appear like I have a lot of money, but I have a 10 million naira project that I am looking at, and money is to give you 1 million naira might be a difficult conversation, but a 20K, 50K, I can easily send it to you. So even if you perceive that someone can give you a certain amount of money, if the person verbally tells you that, oh, I will not be able to do this, don't push it. Ask for something lower. Oh, how much would you be able to do? There's someone I asked for 200K, and the person said that, oh, I'm only going to be able to do like 50K. I was like, fine. I'm like, that's actually very, very perfect. Just you can get to send it. So because I bear in mind that the money I am looking for, in quotes, it is not my money per se. I didn't work. So some of the money I did not work for it. There's no like exchange of, it's not as if I worked and they're paying me salary. This is not my salary. In context of work environment, sometimes I get to speak to my boss and I ask for an advance on my salary, maybe 3, 4, 5 months advance. Pay me everything at once. I'm going to work for you for the rest of the months. But some people don't do that, right? I found it I don't know where I even thought of that, but I tried it once and it worked. And so whenever I get to have a conversation with, if I'm looking for money and like maybe I've exhausted all my cards, I go to my employer and I tell him, please, I need an advance on my salary, 2-3 months advance. Let me have it all at once. And some people can do it. Some companies can afford to do that. Some other companies cannot afford to do that. So also understand your boss. And there was one of the places I was working, I spoke to my boss about my event. This was last year, and he sent me money for it. And this was not part of my salary. He just said he loved the fact that I was doing something outside of work, and it was such a beautiful initiative. And so you should be confident to speak to people that you know can give you money, including your employers, and it is not your salary, right? So, like I was saying, you might perceive that this person is worth millions, or this person should be able to give you money in the tone of millions, but the person might have a billion dollar project that he's looking at and is raising money for it, right? The person might not be able to give you 1 million naira, but the person might be able to give you 100K, right? I reached out to someone, a founder, when I was raising money for BCP. I reached out to a founder. PS, I've never met her before physically. I just reached out to her. I searched for her on LinkedIn. These are the companies I want to sponsor my event. I searched for the founder, and then I sent a cold email to her, and she responded. We spoke. We had a virtual call, and she told me that her company will not be able to sponsor my event. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I just got the nudge in that. I was like, okay, to ask her if she would be willing to sponsor, and I asked her if she would be willing to sponsor. I said yes, sure, and she sent me 100K, right? Now it's not as simple as I say it's, but there's definitely work that you'd get to put in. In that case, now you need to understand how to code DM or code email someone. That's for people that you don't even have prior relationship with. Then there's also raising money in public. I touched this initially. So leverage the power of social media to reach a wider audience and amplify your fundraising efforts. You can employ different social media. I personally prefer Twitter because of its informality. I can speak pidgin, and I could post a picture of a cat, and anything, just towards the end that raising money. I prefer Twitter because it's informal. I've seen people who had raised money on LinkedIn. I have people who had raised money on Instagram, on TikTok, right? But it's just that on these other platforms, you need to become more visual. I hate the camera. I'm learning to become comfortable with it. You need to become more visual. On Instagram, you need to become more visual. Either you have to post a video explaining why you need the money. On TikTok, you might have to post a video to explain why you need the money. On LinkedIn, you might have to compose prose. But on Twitter, I can just simply be like, I can change my handle to Tolu raising money for BCP 2024, and I pin my tweets, and I change my bio to currently looking for 10 million, and then tweet one word sentences, or tweet one line sentences for the rest of or for many weeks ahead. Say, oh, I'm looking for 10 million naira. Who's going to give me 10 million naira? I can be doing that consecutively. On Instagram, I have to be looking for, oh, I need to find the perfect picture, and I have to write a caption. So all of those things stress me. So I look for a platform that is convenient, comfortable for you, and use it in terms of fundraising. Like I mentioned initially, the community effects helps a lot, meaning that one person has donated to you and you post about it, or if you've seen 50K, 50K, you can also do this on WhatsApp. Yes, definitely. I raised some money on WhatsApp too. This time I was looking for money, and I just posted on my status, I'm raising money for a particular project. Your 1K, 2K, 5K, 10K is deeply appreciated. And I got money from people on my contact list. Now, it's like I mentioned before, right? Some people might have a perception of you that, oh, you are this big shot and you have a lot of money always. So oftentimes when you get to share that, okay, when someone sends you 1K and you share it on your WhatsApp status or on your Twitter that, oh, the first money has come in, or other people see it and they're like, oh, I can contribute to this. Or is even this person sent 1K, it means that this my 1K self, or this my 2K where I will even send. You go share, do something, you go help him, he will appreciate, right? That's how people think, right? Especially when you are open about the money that you've gotten. But yes, there's certain money that you will not tell people that you are raising in public, or you that you have gotten, not that they are raising. You can tell people that you are raising this certain amount, but there are certain places where you don't get to mention the amount that you have gotten. You, with wisdom that is in your heart and the Spirit of God, you know those, you know you know how to have those certain conversations. Now, outside of social media, right? If you meet people at a gathering, if you meet people at a gathering at an event, you hang out with people with a close community of people, then definitely you can mention, like, again, nobody knew I'd raised 6 million naira for BCP until when I wanted to do this event. Sorry, when I wanted to have this course happen. Because now mention is that I raised 6 million out of 10 million for BCP, is social proof that get people to, oh, if this guy raised a certain amount of money for this, okay, let me come and hear what he has to. Let me come and hear what he has to say. But through the period of the event, it didn't even look as if I had raised that much money, because as the money was coming in, it was going out, and I did not look like the amount of money that I had raised. So it was a different thing entirely. Now, I think this is like the final section. Still plenty, okay? Jesus, thought we would have finished. Now, go outside the box and stay there. Fundraising doesn't have to be linear. At times, you might have to do unconventional things. An example is when I was looking for money for my first Android phone. I just finished this. I was about to graduate from SS3 then. And I'd asked my uncle who bought my first phone for me, Nokia. What Nokia phone like that? I've actually forgotten the Nokia Asha. Yes, Nokia Asha. They bought my first phone for me then. And so I asked him for money for my first Android phone. And I was like, I didn't have money. So I'd gone to his house for holiday and I saw a Tecno F10 or something, one Tecno series like that had that spot. And I picked it up and I thought, can I collect this one and repair? Since he's now money to give me, I did not say this part though, but since he's now money to give me to buy new one, let me get this one. So he was able to give me money to repair the phone, but he wasn't able to give me money to get a new one. So sometimes you might take a different route to get what you want. Now, if you needed money for something, like when I was raising money for my laptop, someone actually offered me a laptop, right? But I didn't collect it because I knew that I would be able to, that if so what was at the back of my mind is that if I got that, I would be relaxed and I'll not be able to get the laptop that I actually wanted to get, right? I mentioned that one of the places I was working wanted to send me a laptop. I said no. Now, why I said no was because if I'm using a work laptop, I'm working 3 jobs. Imagine using a work laptop to work another work, so that they don't know that they are working. So that's because if they're going to send you a company issued laptop, there's some security measures that are installed on the company issued PC before it is sent down, and all of that. So I didn't want that wahala. So someone offered me a laptop. Someone offered me a Mac, which I turned down because I think it was like a 2020 or 2021 model. If I was going to get a Mac, I was looking at getting a 2022 or 2023 MacBook. So sometimes you can have people offer you an alternative instead of the money. There isn't money for a phone. Someone might offer you another phone. So if it's urgent, you can maybe make do with that. While if the phone will give you ability to work to get more money, then you can take it while using the phone to work. Now, it's a whole lot of this, but fundraising doesn't have to be linear. You necessarily don't always have to get the money. You can get You can get help, you can get assistance. You're looking for money to scale your business. Will you make do with an introduction to a professional business mentor that if he takes your business under his wings and gives you advice, you'd be able to actually get your business to be what's the word? Profitable, right? And start making, and the business begins to fund itself. Instead of looking for the money, would a professional mentor suffice? Just the time I was looking for a particular resource and I was offered mentorship and I took it. Right, the mentorship eventually translated to me making times 10 of the money I thought I would make if I'd gotten that resource. When I was raising money for BCP, someone offered to clear out food on the item. I was looking for money to pay a food vendor to get food for my volunteers and my speakers. But I'd spoken to someone and she offered that okay, she was going to cater to the food aspect. Now I don't need to look for money again. I just do that. Thank you very much. God bless you. And the person handled it. So fundraising doesn't have to be linear, right? If someone offers you access to a network of high net worth individuals, are you going to take it, or you are still going to be focused on looking for the money that you are looking for? Because one of the things fundraising does, which I have experienced, is that it exposes you to a lot of people, especially if you are going all out. Right now, I have contacts of about 62 founders in Nigeria, and the percentage of them have responded to me when I was looking for money. So I know that the email is working, right? I connected with some people on LinkedIn, and there's just this relationship that has been established. Yes, the first thing I asked for when I met her was money. But eventually, if we meet at an event, if we meet somewhere, I can establish I can build on the conversation, be like, oh, I'm the guy that asked you for money. I'm the guy that reached out to you for sponsorship for my event. The next question that they're going to ask is, oh my God, how was the event? And then I can now show them I can now go down into details of the value that was created, the impact, share testimonials, and get them interested. In fact, it happened last year, right? When I was raising money for BCP 23, some of the people who eventually spoke this year had reached out to me and was like, I'd reached out to them and oh my God, I'm sorry, but let's look at next year and stuff like that. So it happens in that way, which is what would I'm trying to speed up so we can take questions. Now, learn and go beyond the norm, right? Take your learnings from different fundraising initiative. You can try new things, right? In 2018, I was at an auction. An organization wanted to raise money for something, and instead of going the conventional way, they organized a meetup and auctioned some branded materials at the event. Now, the people that attended the event, you think that they don't have money because, again, the event was free. People just came, you're chilling. But when they started auctioning items, someone said, oh, 1K here. How many of us watch auctions, how they auction at stores, anything basically. Now they, oh, 1K here, 1K is going. No, 2K, 3K, 5K. Eventually, an item that was 500 naira was sold for 10K, right? And different things, and the money goes to the house. So have you explored initiatives like this? In 2020, I hosted a dinner to get sponsors for the dinner itself. But yeah, right. So on getting to the dinner, there were some items that were not yet cleared off, right? And you're already here, and I spoke, and you're like, oh, Tolu, how did you pull this up? And next year, I'm still looking for money. I've not pulled anything off. Oh, what do you need money for? XYZ. Oh, no problem. Let me send some money. Right. So there are different things that you can do other than the conventional fundraising. For BCP 24, I intended to actually have an elite dinner, but I was not able to pull that off because of time constraint and accidents. But yeah, have an elite dinner, invite top tier guests, get the tickets now I know my capability that I can get anybody into a room to have a sit down, to have a conversation with me. People who want that access might be willing to pay 50K, 100K for it. In fact, people would be willing to pay a lot of money to have access to certain people that I can bring into a room. Now it's not like I said, the idea was an elite dinner exclusive for just a few persons, and I was very, very confident that the people that I was going to pitch to, they were going to want to meet those set of people, right? So it's like that. I have a contact through which I could get. Let me not say that one. But yeah, some ideas: organize a sip and paint, auction the finest painting, go on a hiking trip, auction the rarest item found, organize fundraising walks, campaign, different things, right? You can experiment with other ideas that come easily to you, and you can also outsource your fundraising to people who believe in you. So instead of you being the only one that is running helter skelter looking for this, you could just share your vision with a few persons and have them speak to people that they know about it. So, and that's what I do, right? Depending on the initiative, depending on how big it is or how small it is, I have people I can talk to and be like, oh, I'm looking for XYZ amount of money. Who do you think I should be talking to? So for BCP, I had a call with a friend of mine. I was like, this is the amount of money I'm looking for. This is the amount of money I have. This is the amount of money that is left to ensure that this event happens. Who should I be talking to? And he was like, oh, let me put a call through to this person. I think I gave this example on the chat. Now, I'd reached out to someone and he had introduced me to Adewale Yusuf of Alt School. And though, yes, Adewale Yusuf didn't give me money per se, but he shared insights into how I can get money for my event if I'm going to do it next year, right? That's valuable information that I cannot share here. Bear with me, right? But he gave me insight into how I'm going to get money for next year's event. So that connect was very, very important, right? So how do you have persons that you can get to speak with? Can you outsource your fundraising? Now, it might not get you money immediately. If you talk to someone that knows someone, they might be able to pull in a favor. One of the things I was privileged to have this year was someone who had been hosting the event for 15 years. As a connect during the period that I was looking for money. And one of the things he helped me do was to go through the list of people I had reached out to. Although this was very late into when I was looking for money, and he reached out to them personally because he had prior relationship with them. Reached out to them personally and gave me feedback. Oh, they were actually interested. They just that they didn't see my email because it probably might have landed in spam because it's a cold email, right? In a junk. But at the time where the now gotten the information that my event is happening, it was already too close to the event date, and major money decisions could not be made within that short time frame. But this happened because I had people I had spoken to that, oh, I'm looking for 10 million naira for my event. Who should I be talking to? Would you know that I should be talking to that I don't know, right? And they gave me insights. Now I think we're wrapping up. Saying thank you in a different way. Definitely tell the people that give you money thank you. I think that's like the best way to put it. What I do, so if you're hosting an event, have their logos, brand representation. You can name drop them in an article, video, whatever you want to do. But what I do personally is I write a letter to people. So some of the people who gave me money for BCP, I tell them I want to use thank you to finish their life, right? I tell them thank you. I write long notes. I love writing letters to people, open letters. Sometimes I do an open letter publicly. Sometimes I send it directly to their email address and tell them thank you. And sometimes I attach gifts. I can buy hamper if I have money. But right now I don't have money, so I did not buy hamper for anybody this year. But it's my plan of the things up. I have a list of people that I intend to gifts. I intend to just send gifts to randomly before the close of the year, just to just to keep the relationship alive. People love being appreciated for the help that they've rendered to you. So make it a practice to actually do that. And now definitely keep the relationship alive. I've mentioned that being grateful is one of the ways that you can keep a relationship alive. Now keep them informed of what you're doing, of the impact. So you had an event, you had 1,500 people come for the event. Out of the 1,500 people, you have received feedback that XYZ have started the business as an outflow of your event. This person received funding. These are some of the information that you can get to share with them, because now they know that the work that they did, or the money that they shared, the money that they gave you actually impacted someone's life. It helps someone start a business. It helps someone gain knowledge. It helps you do XYZ, and so get to share impact with them. One of the things I did last year was to write a letter of impact to all of the speakers that came for BCP, which I'm still going to do this year, because I'm still recovering. But write a letter to all the speakers that came for BCP. Now, the letter of recommendation is a useful tool. Letter of impact rather was a useful tool for one of them to apply for global talent visa, because now he could show that, oh, I've spoken at XYZ events, and this is to me, it was just a few minutes, right, of thinking of what to write and ensuring that I highlighted the impact of my event and the value of their session to the attendees of the event. But to him, that was actually a very, very useful tool when he needed to submit evidences when he was applying for his global talent visa. So that's something that he won't forget, right? Tolu wrote something for me that was actually very important. So beyond physical gifts, and that's why I write letters, right? It could be stamped, cropped, framed, turned into a PDF and shared as an evidence in so much in the future. Hamper, merch, all of those things, they are good, right? But their effect is limited to the time that they are relevant or they can finish. You can try to commit intangible, what's it called now? You could create a virtual badge, a virtual award, something that if it's on the internet, it can always be found, and it will always be useful. You could do that as a show of appreciation to them. Then I think finally on this, be transparent and trustworthy. When you say you want to raise money for a PC, don't go ahead and buy an iPhone, right? Don't do it. If you said you needed the money for this, use it for that purpose, right? There's a time my mom gave me 30K to buy phone. I was in 200 level. I'd raised about 70K through an investment scheme, and so she sent me like 30K, but I'd used the money for another thing. We were going for a conference, and some people needed transfer. They said they were going to return it to give them the money, right? But eventually, when I got home, my mother was asking me, Tolu, where's the new phone that you said you wanted to buy? And she asked me throughout the holiday. And after that year, she did not send me money again for anything. So it just recently, I started sending me money anytime I'm looking for this thing. Now, finally, you can get to keep track of the money. So I do this with Notion or Excel. I think I can share. Where is that thing? I can share it. I can just share from my Notion. Yes, so I have a list of, this was like 2023 list of people I reached out to for money. Then I wanted to also share this. Now this was 2024. This all of the list of organizations I reached out to. Some responded. I've not updated it. Some responded. Some ghosted me. Some said Tolu, if you're in Lagos, would have had a very, very nice conversation. And and all of that. But I think that's the end. I'm going to share the what's it called, the notes this with you, and I also promised 3 extra PDFs which I have not yet finished because I've not finished them. I'm also going to share that with you. I'll share it on the group, and I can also share individually to your DMs if you need. But I'm going to share this with you so that you can also go over it. And I created like a to-do list. I didn't create it. I just asked Notion AI to create a to-do list from what I had written, right? So you could use it as a guide to also get to plan like your next steps. So yes, I think that we've come to the end of the session. Questions. I said I was going to address Yagazi's this thing. So Victoria, really, if you want to raise money, yes, there's usually a constraint when it comes to geography, when you have to raise money, because people, there's a perception that there's money in Lagos, which is true, there's money in Lagos, but most of the people in Lagos like to sponsor events that are in Lagos. Why? They can easily carry the whole of their team in one Uber to the event. Now, if you're asking for a sponsor to leave Lagos to come to Abuja, they're going to be thinking of logistics, and they're going to be thinking of how they can send the representatives. Sometimes, often, they are also thinking of if the people in Abuja are part of their target audience. Now, I think Abuja is actually a very, very sweet place. You just need to know the people in Abuja that you can reach out to, because eventually what I did to raise money for Akure was to meet people in Akure, when raising money from Lagos would require me to go to Lagos. So I met people in Akure, and I think you said that the event is coming up in, I think, towards the ending of the month, towards the ending of the year rather. So 2 things: you have time to go to Lagos and build connections and speak to people physically, then follow up on those conversations virtually. 2, you could start making your findings around organizations that have a physical presence in Abuja. I think most organizations that have their headquarters in Lagos have a representation in Abuja because there's a perception that it is the seat of power and stuff. Now, third thing you could do, try to get into or try to get information around communities and clubs around Abuja. In Lagos, they have the Ikoyi Club, right? Most founders in Nigeria pay the 1 million naira membership fee to be part of Ikoyi Club. Why? When you get in there, you could sit down and have a conversation with the person that's going to give you $5,000 for your next project, right? Because that's where the Otedola, Dangote, and the big guys come, and they'll come and play golf or come and do whatever. So there's also Fela Shrine in Lagos, but you're not in Lagos. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're able to identify these places where money conversations are made, if you can begin to make your findings and get to know who you should be talking to, then definitely you might find the money that you're looking for. I know someone in Abuja who is hosting an event in Abuja, and he's also this is the person I spoke of that he has been hosting events for 15 years. So his name is Rotiba Emmanuel. You can, I think, possibly you can reach out to him on LinkedIn, because I know he's in the middle of his event. His event is next month, so he's almost unavailable on WhatsApp, except you want to give him money. Well, one of the things he has is connections within and outside Abuja, and he's definitely someone you should have a conversation with. So if you if you can remind me in a month, that's after the month of August, I might be able to get you a conversation with him. So you can share your audio with him, and might be able to plug you into some certain conversations with people who matter. Then if you can get through to Salem, Salem left Abuja for Lagos, but I know he'll be in Abuja again in August. He can get you into conversations with people who might be able to give you money. Then reach out to Sheyi Olaniyan on Twitter, the founder of Yellow Life. He has certain connections in Abuja too, because he has hosted events across the country. So that person might be able to help you. Might be able to help you in telling you who to speak to. But definitely walk around, getting to know where money conversations happen in Abuja. Personally, I really believe that Abuja is a really sweet place to raise money, because I just need to. Yeah, I think it's really, you have an advantage with the perception that there is the seat of power and there's money and everything. So you could also reach out to banks to, I don't know if you've tried that. Reach out to banks. Don't do email. Walk into their, dress fine. Don't wear joggers. Dress fine. Maybe, and enter the bank and request to speak with the manager or the marketing officials. They'll tell you how to access funding. But preferably, it should be a bank that you are banking with. I did that for GTB. It's just that the time constraint was short when I thought of it. Right. The branch managers are always, there's a what's it called? There's an allocation that is given to corporate organizations, especially the ones listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, to fund public projects. So you might be able to access that funding if you speak to the branch manager. You get. I hope that helped a bit.
Oh, it totally did. I asked a question in the chat box too. The first name you mentioned, so that when I come back to remind you later, I'm able to describe him clearer. Because I wanted to get more information on the event he's hosting next month. I could probably attend.
Yeah, Rotiba Emmanuel. The name of the event is Forward. And I think the student is for student is free. Then the next ticket category is like 5K. So it's actually very affordable. And it's happening in Abuja. Yeah. So I dropped the name for you. Then Miracle. So I didn't really hear all the things you said, but I know that you said you have a business, and you are currently looking for money to, I think, maybe get some other extra items for your business. So if possibly you could put a bit of context to your question, then I would be able to properly guide or offer propositions on what you can do.
All right. I'm in a bus, so maybe I'll chat to you.
All right, no wala. Then the last person was Faizat, but she's not on the call now. Okay, how do we do this? All right. Any questions, please, from what we've heard so far? I'm assuming the silence means no questions. All right, then I hope the session has been valuable. Thank you so much for the privilege. Thank you for giving me your money to share my insights with you. Again, one of the ways you can also raise money is to sell information. There might be things that you've done that you think that it's of no consequence, but when you really look at it, there are people who want to know how you've done it. If you are someone that has facilitated partnerships, maybe as part of as a volunteer something, or as part of a public initiative. People might really need that information. So one of the things you can do is to sell information. I learned it from How to Sell to Nigerians, the book by what's his name? Akin Alabi. Yes, the book is on my table. Right. One of the things he did firstly in his career was to sell information to people. So until tomorrow, information remains a valuable resource that people need. So sell information. You can get money by selling information to the right audience. But it's been a great privilege. I would call it a day. If you have any more questions, the chat is there, and I'll definitely share all of the resources via chat with us. Right. Bye, guys.